Alright, hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna have to start off first tonight, slightly apologizing. Even though someone would say maybe not a reason to apologize. But I definitely wanted to stream tonight. And I definitely wanted to give Umineko a stream during the week here for a bit. But today, especially starting since this evening, I had some errands to run and shit, but like, man, I have been what I can only assume is like suffering from bad allergy stuff today. I don't know if it comes across in my voice, but it definitely will shortly if I keep sniffling like I've been doing. And as I was making dinner and stuff, like I've just been sneezing all night, and it's pretty bad. It probably sounds bad. I'm gonna try really hard. I didn't want to miss stream though. That's the thing. I really didn't want to miss stream tonight. I didn't want to miss a stream. On a Wednesday before Thursdays I normally take off. Also, like I said, wanted to give the old Umineko a week stream here as well, weeknight stream. So, I will say there's a good chance that I won't be able to stream super long tonight just because of how I'm feeling. I sort of feel like shit. But like I said, probably not the most conducive for reading a bunch, as I've elected to do for this series. But I'm gonna try my best, stick in for a bit. But my apology comes in that it's probably not gonna be a super long stream, or as long as I wanted to be. I'm already starting pretty late tonight because of the aforementioned errands I had to run. Dude, I was walking around Target just like trying to figure out a baby registry thing. Dude, I feel like the Target nearest me, maybe I must have not been in a Target in the longest time, but they totally like like organized aisles and stuff at some point in the recentish future, recentish present, recent past. I went through all the different tenses there. And I was just lost, and I was like trying to find things. But it's true, you get to that age where like people, you know, friends, co-workers start having children constantly, and then like baby showers start happening, and you're just trying to figure it out, and you're just like, ugh, what a pain. What a pain. But enough about that. Let's get to the actual meat. Like I said, I'm sorry if the streams sound short or if I sound bad. It's just a fact of the matter. Because it was either this or nothing, alright? Bing bong. Bing bong. Bing bong. There was 4 bing bongs. Is it 4 p.m.? Or 4 a.m.? My last, like, what was it, 2 or 3 years in my parents' house before moving away for college, my mom had gotten, like, a grandfather clock that she really wanted. And I don't know, you watching, if you've ever experienced living in a household with a grandfather clock that at the hour of every hour made noise, and also every 15 minutes, you would think you would get used to it after a while, but it was always obnoxious to me. No offense to my mom or anything, but Jesus. Jesus. Okay. So, yeah, like I said, tonight's stream might only just be like an hour. Or maybe an hour and a half if I can land it. If I can make it without dying. And hopefully I don't sneeze a ton, so. From where we were. Which is to say, where we were was the kids, essentially let's get the old family tree here. The kids, the 4 of them and her, were upstairs, I assume, just goofing around, doing their things. The parents were all together. The parents were kind of not sounding like they were having a good time. Tensions were high, it felt like, between some of the parents, which is fine, I guess. As you get older, tensions start to mount between your family for different reasons. It's a normal thing, I think. But the kids were having a great time. I don't think I clicked her. These four and her. And then we saw this little behind the scenes. I actually remember this. I didn't even have to check the last stream. And then we saw a little moment between them and Goda. Goda apparently, like, doesn't have a great, is it fair to say a great relationship with the other two servants here? So yeah. Well, that's where we were. I mean, I think the whole group is going to get together here. I'd assume, again, downstairs to eat. I assume we're being prepped for a meal. Glass shatter. Alright, I'm going to try very hard. I know I'm 6 minutes in and I haven't even said it, played anything. I'm going to try very hard not to sneeze a ton on stream and also sniffle a ton. But I can't help my voice. My already obnoxious sounding voice. As we entered the entrance... let me move my keyboard here. Alright, that's better. As we entered the entrance hall, an aged servant greeted us. Now him, I remembered. Genji-san, who had been working here longer than anyone, filled the role of head servant.
Batora-sama, お久しゅうございます。
Sorry, I'm adjusting audio there once he starts talking. Battler-sama, it has been quite some time since last we met. As our eyes met, he greeted me with a calm, composed voice. His bow wasn't as wasn't as graceful or refined as Goda's, but despite its simplicity, it communicated his feelings very well.
Genji-san, 本当にお久しぶりっす。
Genji-san, it really has been a while.
お元気そうですね。
You look well.
おかげさまで健やかに過ごさせていただいております。
Thank you. I've been quite well.
バトラ様こそご立派になられました。
And Battler-sama, you have become a splendid young man.
親方様の若き日に少し似てこられましたな。
You are beginning to resemble the master in his youth.
俺がじい様に？
I look like grandfather?
ってことは、さぞやじい様は若い頃モテたろうな。
Guess that means grandfather was pretty popular with the ladies when he was young.
ここからはシャノンに代わって私がご案内申し上げます。
I'm gonna lower my mic. Sorry if I'm making noises there, moving that. From here on, I shall take Shannon's place and accompany you.
どうぞこちらへ。
Please come this way. Shannon-chan bowed deeply and watched us leave. After that, we headed towards the dining room under Genji-san's guidance. Genji-san, just like Kumasawa-san, stood in stark contrast to us young people who had grown beyond recognition over the last 6 years. His appearance was exactly the same as in my memories from 6 years ago. It was as though time had stopped since the last time we met. Genji-san was an extremely quiet and diligent person. Oh, there's a sniffle. He was basically grandfather's close aide or caregiver. And you might even call him grandfather's companion of many years. Now, obviously, memory, maybe not the best. Memory is not my strong suit here, but was this Genji the guy that we saw at the very opening? With the grandfather, I assume? Then? I'm trying to remember his picture in my head. But it's not coming to me. But I'm just going to assume so. In fact, it seems he was by grandfather's side even more often than my late grandmother was. According to Jessica, grandfather trusted him more than any of his blood relatives. But I wonder how long he served. I never got the details, but I heard something about him being here since the very beginning, when this mansion was first constructed. Which would mean that he's dedicated half his life to serving here. It's easy to see why he's so trusting. As we passed through a massive hall that extended up into the second story of the mansion with no separating floor, I spotted something that hadn't existed in my memory of 6 years ago. It's a painting. She looks almost doll-like. It was an awfully big portrait hanging right in front of the stairs that rose to the second floor. Without thinking, I stopped walking, captivated by it. Since I'd stopped so fast, Maria, who was following behind me, ran into my back. Ooh. Ah, sorry.
No, Jessica.
Hey, Jessica. Has that picture always been there? I pointed at the big, prominently displayed portrait in the hall. Everyone else stopped, too. Oh, right. When you last came here, that hadn't been hung yet, had it? When was it again? Well,
僕の記憶が正しければ、一昨年あたりだったと思うよ。
if my memory doesn't fail me, it was put on display sometime around the year before last?
さようでございます。
You are correct, sir.
一昨年の4月に、親方様がかねてより画家に命じて描かせていたものを、あそこに展示なされたのでございます。
In April of the year before last, the master put it on display there, having previously ordered a painter to create it. Grandfather did that? So he paid to have it painted just for him, huh? The portrait suited this western mansion. That woman in the elegant dress gave off a sense of refinement. I couldn't have guessed her age, but her sharp eyes and the strong will she seemed to possess made her look youthful. She seemed somehow different from the composed middle-aged women you often see in famous pictures. If she'd had normal black hair, I might have assumed it was a portrait of my long-deceased grandmother in her prime. However, she had beautiful blonde hair and didn't look Japanese at all. So, just who is this lady? Maria answered that simple question enthusiastically, as though proud she knew the answer. Ooh. I know. Beatrice! She's Beatrice. What?
Beatrice.
I love the way they say it. And then my dumbass, very American pronunciation. Beatrice. Beatrice? Beatrice. Beatrice. What a name Beatrice is. It's very like refined. Not on my grade level, but someone in high school who was in like the shared same grade as like one of my older sisters. I think her name was Beatrice. But then she was always like she was like, oh, everyone in school just called her Bia. Bia. She wanted to go by Bia, which I was always like, huh, Bia. Bia. I don't know why I'm so... That was like, I just unlocked a memory of mine. Bia. Beatrice.
魔女だよ。
Oh, she's a witch. Oh. Well, that's quite a claim.
バトラ君は昔聞かされたことない？
Didn't you ever hear stories about her long ago?
魔女?
A witch?
で、
You mean
この島の?
the witch of this island? I think I already said this, but Rokinjima is a small island only 10 kilometers in circumference. However, that's actually pretty massive considering if I make any mistakes while reading, it's because I'm sick. That's my defense. Considering that only the Yushiro Miya I have to read that family name once. Always, at least once, before I nail it for the rest of the stream. Start from the top. However, that's actually pretty massive considering that only the Ishiromiya family lives here. So, only the harbor and the area around the mansion were set up to be lived in. Beyond that, the island remained as untouched as when it was uninhabited. The vast and empty forest had absolutely no lights, phones, or people passing through. To understand how dangerous that is, you need to forget your common sense as a city dweller. After all, if you happen to fall down a hole in the depths of the forest and sprain your ankle, no one would come save you, no matter how much you cried or screamed. Then, once the sun went down, the forest would be wrapped in complete darkness, since there were no street lights. And, since there were no signs, it'd be easy to get lost and confused, losing your sense of direction inside that dark forest. Nowadays, most people see a forest as a peaceful place, but to the people of bygone eras, before the light of civilization drove out the night, forests were as geographically separated from civilization as the sea. They were oceans above the ground. Fishermen who go out into the ocean are putting their lives at risk despite their technical knowledge. In the same way, hunters who go out of the forest are in danger despite having specialized knowledge of their own. If children were to go play in such a dangerous forest, something terrible might happen. Someone's parents must have thought so. Maybe grandmother first said it, or maybe it was grandfather himself. Or perhaps the story's been passed down on this island since ancient times. An ancient man? What kind of guy are you into? An ancient man? I recently rewatched that video. I'm not ashamed to say I have the ancient man video street interview thing saved on my computer, and I watched it just to feel something. It makes me laugh every time. Every time you watch it, I fixate on like on a single thing on it. It's very good. I love it. I love it. But there's a terrible witch in the forest, so you must not go in. At some point, this ghost story of Rokenjima was born. This is the legend of Rokenjima's witch. That's why, when we talk about a witch on this island, we're referring to the master of that vast and savage forest. Come to think of it, when I stayed at this mansion as a little kid, during those eerie nights when the wind and rain poured or pounded on the windows, I remember being terrified by a story of the forest witch who roamed around searching for human sacrifices. So, Beatrice, huh? When Aniki mentioned it, I searched my memory and was sure I recalled hearing a name like that when I was little.
なるほどな。
I see.
しかし、あの魔女伝説の魔女にベアトリーチェなんておしゃれな名前がついてたとは、とんと忘れてたぜ。
Still, I totally forgot that the witch in the legend had an elegant name like Beatrice.
じいさまめ。孫たちが信じないもんだから、わざわざ絵に描きやがったか
So, did grandfather go out of his way to have a portrait made just because we grandchildren didn't believe the story?
じいさまの妄想の中の魔女だよ。
She's the witch from grandfather's delusions.
この絵を掲げた頃から、現実と幻想の区別がつかなくなり始めた。
Ever since he had this picture hanged, he's been having a harder and harder time telling the difference between truth and fantasy.
私たちにとっては想像の中の魔女に過ぎないけど、じいさまにとっては彼女はこの島にいる存在。
To us, she's just a witch that exists in grandfather's mind, but to him, she's a being that exists on this island.
いる。
Exists.
だから、それを理解することができない私たちにもわかるよう、あの絵を描かせたって言うんだけど。
He says he had that painting made because the rest of us would be incapable of understanding otherwise.
気持ち悪いったらありゃしないぜ。
Whole thing's creepy as hell.
お嬢様
I like her. Oh, I hit a button. I hit a button I didn't mean to. You guys didn't notice it. I like clicked off the game and it like minimized. I like her. Jessica's her name, yeah? Let me just make sure. My memory, again, if you're just watching this series and you haven't watched like anything else I've played or streamed, just know my memory sucks. It is my one flaw, my single flaw as a person. That and my extreme anxiety. But like, my memory is so bad. But yes, it's Jessica. She's cool. I like her attitude. I like the way she talks. She seems chill. Also, just a stream of apologizing to viewers. To chat, to viewers, to archivers. If you wanted this to be I said this probably at the start. If you want this to be a straight just read through of this with no thinking about what I've just read or bringing up random memories I have about people nicknamed Bia, or like, I assume I'm gonna be like theorizing about things that happened in this game, you've come to the wrong place. This is gonna be, that's why I said this is gonna take me 200 hours the rate I'm going. This is gonna be a long ass series, you know? Just saying. So I apologize if that's not your jam. Okay, milady. This portrait is precious to the master. Oh, here comes Genji. Here to he's here to defend his master. I beg of you, do not say such things in front of him. I know. Even if you didn't tell me, I would never do something like that. Jessica glanced at the portrait with an irritated gaze before turning away. Let's go. We're making everyone wait in the dining room. Ooh. I'm hungry! Only a small portion of this island was controlled by the Ishiromiya family. All the lawless remainder was the domain of the witch, Beatrice. You might even call her the true ruler of Rokenjima. I felt a faint revival of that unsettling sense of misfortune, which I'd felt when I learned of the titulary god's shrine being struck by lightning. And I remembered that Kumasawa-san tried to tell an ominous story about Rokenjima before Jessica stopped her. I don't know what she was planning to tell us about this island, but I do know one thing. It isn't the Ishiromiya family that rules Rokenjima. It's the witch, Beatrice. Oh, that's foreboding. That's right. After all, this is the witch's island. Battler! Oh, you're slow! When I looked around, everyone was already heading towards the dining room. I hurriedly chased after them. Sorry. Had to drink some fluids. We walked up to the huge double doors that led to the dining room. Genji-san knocked. I have brought the children. Please pardon the intrusion. The doors were opened and we were invited inside. The dining room, which looked exactly like you'd imagine a rich person's dining room to be, had a super long table that was obviously positioned with no purpose other than to make the guests conscious of their rank. Our parents were already sitting in accordance with that ordering. You're late, brats. Hurry up and take a seat. Thanks, Dad. The old bastard pressed us to sit. You know what? I'm totally fine with Battler calling him an old bastard. It doesn't seem very, friendly. His chill dad ranking is, 0. On my scale of 0 to 10. The old bastard pressed us to sit. The only gaps in that group of people were the spots we were supposed to sit, which only made us feel our tardiness all the more. The seat at the head of the table, called the incipient's chair, was for the most highly ranked, reserved for grandfather. It was still empty. He probably wanted to show up last for dramatic effect. From the perspective of someone facing the incipient's chair head on, the seating order went from left to right, with the lower ranking seats progressing in rows of 2 further away from it. From the perspective of someone facing the head chair, the seating order went from left to right. I'm like trying to take like a mental note of this, just in case it's important. With the lower ranking seats progressing in rows of 2. Okay, so the left hand side of the first row, closest to the incipient's chair, was where Uncle Kraus would have sat, since he was the second highest in rank. It looked like he hadn't arrived yet, so that seat was empty. I did a big sniffle, but I muted myself. Are you proud of me? Across from his chair, on the right side of the first row, sat the eldest daughter of the family, Aunt Ava, who was the 3rd highest in rank. The left-hand side of the second row is the 4th highest in rank. There sat my damn dad, Rudolph, the 3rd of the siblings. Across from him, on the right side of the second row, sat Aunt Rosa. Dude, do you love how I just constantly like switch between aunt and aunt? There's a few words I never settle on like one way of saying them. So I always, in my head, as I'm just reading them out loud, I'll always switch between them. Just whatever suits the mood, you know? Aunt Rosa, the youngest sibling. At this point, you might expect their husbands and wives to come next. But nope, the left-hand seat in the 3rd row, ranked number 6, belonged to Jessica. Opposite her was George and Nikki. I sat next to Jessica, and Maria sat across from me. Then, finally, next to me on the left-hand side on the 5th row, sat Aunt Natsuhi, the 10th highest in rank. Damn, why is she so low? Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. Now, why? There's got to be a reason. This has got to be like a thing, right? So the lowest ranks... I mean, she's up here and she hasn't been revealed. But, like, some of the kids are above this guy, and... she hasn't even been mentioned yet. I guess because technically they're not blood, maybe? Is it just as simple as that, and I'm overthinking it? Let's see, it said they were seated. This would have been his seat first, second, third, fourth. So this is in order, obviously the order of birth. Yeah, I guess it's probably because of blood, right? Servant Genji, leader of the servants who work for the Yushiro Miya family. He has served Kinzo longer than any other, and is the person most trusted by that old man. Since he served Kinzo directly, Kraus and Natsuhi think of him as being a spy for Kinzo. Huh. If we're noting the oh, dude, it's I know it's kind of I don't know. I don't want to cut. I think it's cool that she's got the thing on like a thigh, and it's got like this weird like thigh window on the thing. But I also like his like I've discussed this earlier in parts. I like the whole like family's got like these crest. The only thing I could describe them as is like a crest thing on their outfits in different places. I too, if I was in this family, like hers is all like really just predominantly on the dress, it looks like. Having it on this thing is kind of cool, on the suit jacket. Honestly, if I could go anyway, like she has it on her actual, unless I'm looking at it wrong. Maybe she's wearing like skin color like tights or something, and it's on that, but this almost looks like it's like tattooed on, which is dope. I was gonna say I would probably want it like. I would probably want it on my arm. That would be pretty cool. But if you had it like actually on your body, that would mean you're really dedicated to the family, you know? You gotta hope you're not like burned by the family at some point. Then you'd really regret it, you know? Then I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm just thinking out loud, you know? just thinking. Opposite her was Uncle Hideyoshi. Next to Aunt Natsuhi, in the 6th row, in the final seat on the left-hand side, sat Kairi-san. The seat opposite to Kairi-san was empty, even though silverware had been there, or had been set there and everything. According to this ranking system, that spot was where Aunt Rosa's husband should be sitting. Even though he wasn't supposed to be coming, his place was made up. Aunt Rosa? Wait. Oh. That's why I was so confused. So it would be the spot for, which makes sense. Again, we're going in order. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. It seems as though it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's basically order of birth to the grandfather, Kinzo. Then you have Kraus, the firstborn. Then you have 2nd, 3rd, 4th in order. Then you have the blood kids. It makes it very simple that there's only one kid for each set of parents here. And then you have the unrelated, only related by like marriage, people in order of the same of this order. So it all a tight little experience. In my sickened state, I'm trying to just grasp everything. Explain it for the viewers, you know? Trying my best. Although, this was something I was thinking. I have to assume that with such the high barrier that this game has, and this visual novel has, as like an experience to like a new player. If you told a new player like a visual novel, already a high barrier. You tell someone it's 100 plus hours, that's a high barrier. Like how many people, I'm just curious, like I have to assume anyone that watches this series or stumbles upon like my series playing this, especially like such a small streamer like me, like I have to assume you watching, you've already played this. So you're watching to see someone new to this experience this. I have to assume there's probably the percentage of people that are watching it for the first time and not have played it has got to be so extremely low on like YouTube and shit. Or even like watching live on Twitch or something. Unless like a really popular streamer started playing it or went through the whole thing. Does that make sense? Like, I had to assume any view I get on this series is going to be people that have already played it, but that's just a conjecture on my side. Normally, ranking systems of the sort give spouses equal positions as their partners, but the Ishiromiya family's system was unique. Maybe it's a remnant of male chauvinism. If you start with the assumption that a woman's womb is just something to be borrowed, then children of direct descendant would come first, directly followed by the grandchildren. In other words, spouses have no blood ties and are therefore placed at the end of the line. It's terrible, but by this system, my grandmother would be ranked even lower than me if she were still alive. In their youth, they obey their father. After they get married, their husband. After aging, their children. There's the old saying, women have no home in any realm. Long ago, when I was still incapable of figuring all this out, I thought it was so great that we could all chat in our little groups, adult siblings with adult siblings and cousins with cousins. However, now that I can re-examine the seating order after growing up a bit, it stirs up some very complicated feelings in me. Aunt Natsui, who was married to the eldest son, and was the de facto number 2 in managing this family, sat to my right, which meant that she was 2 steps lower than me in the ranking order. It was hard to imagine what might be going on inside her head, or her heart, and maybe her head. That's why I made a small apologetic gesture towards her before sitting down.
お久しぶりですね。 バトラ君。
How nice to see you, Battler-kun.
ずいぶん背が伸びましたね。
You've grown quite tall, haven't you?
ああ、はい。
Oh, yep.
食ったり食べたり食事したりしてたらいつの間にかこんな身長に。
6 long years of eating well, sampling various cuisines, and deriving sustenance from others' bountiful gifts. What an answer. Hard work, but I pulled through.
さすが男の子ね。
Growing just like a boy, I see.
身長はいくつくらいあるの？
How tall are you now?
180かな。
I guess about 180 centimeters?
つうかおばさん、そこは食べてばっかりじゃねえかって突っ込んでくださいよ。
But Aunt Natsui, that's where you're supposed to say heck. Sounds like all you did was eat.
え？
Huh?
ああ。ごめんなさいね。
Oh. Giggle. I'm sorry. After a short pause, she did laugh with me, but it seemed like she couldn't quite figure out what she was supposed to be laughing at. This woman is Aunt Natsuhi. I assume that sound means I've unlocked the bio. She's the wife of the eldest son of the family, meaning she's my father's older brother's wife. Ha. Ha. Yashiromiya Natsuhi, Kraus's wife. She manages the household of the Yashiromiya head family in place of her husband, who takes little interest in such matters. She was in charge of all preparations and arrangements for the family conference. She possesses a strong sense of responsibility and a great deal of pride. However, neither her husband nor his siblings understand her very well, so her position is far from enviable. Dang. Is it simpler if I just call her Jessica's mother? It feels bad to say it like this, but while I didn't exactly dislike her, I didn't particularly like her either. She hardly ever spoke with us kids, and all my memories of her involve her talking to the adults about complicated things, with a scary look on her face. In fact, since we hardly ever exchanged words, I spent a long time trying to figure out how I should approach her. Though my efforts seem to have ended in failure. Silverware sat neatly on the table, but the meal itself hadn't been brought in yet. As a general rule, you couldn't start a meal until the person sitting at the head of the table arrived. So, as long as grandfather didn't come, lunch would be put on hold indefinitely. Not even the appetizers would arrive. Simply put, the silence in this room was caused by our parents enduring their hunger while they waited for grandfather to arrive. However, grandfather from my memories would always show up on time to meals like this. He was the kind of person who would never be so late that it kept everyone waiting, especially after the entire group had arrived.
遅えな、じいさま。
Grandfather's pretty late.
俺の記憶じゃ時間に厳格な人だったと思うんだけどな。
As far as I can remember, he was always strict about time.
まあ6年前はそうだったかもな。
Well, that might have been true 6 years ago,
最近はそうでもねえよ。
but it hasn't been that way lately.
というかもう自分の世界オンリーって感じで会食にも顔を出さねえぜ。
In fact, he's off in his own little world so often that he doesn't even show up at family meals.
さすがに今日くらいは足並みを揃えてくれるって思ってたんだけどな。
Still, I figured he'd at least come down today.
まあ私は来ない方が気楽で嬉しいけどよ。
Then again, I feel a lot more relaxed and happy without him.
ジェシカ。
Jessica. When her mother scolded her, Jessica stuck her tongue out and looked away. No way around it. Might as well wait until our host arrives. When I glanced at the clock, I saw it was almost 12:20. I need to become a mouth breather. Oh, there he is. Look at that. Yashiromiya Kinzo, the aged family head of the Yashiromiya head family. This man could be seen in his study. The clock had already passed noon, but he didn't even attempt to rise from his seat. With his spectacles on, he built up a glowing pile of books with elaborate bindings, which he then read intently. Couldn't really say that he was having too much fun to stop. Rather, he filled the room with a sense of impatience, or perhaps a sense of impending danger, as though every second wasted was a tragedy. In the sealed room, a dense dust danced through the air, which was thick with the stench of chemicals that exuded a mix of suspicious odors. Those odors were somehow sweet and heavy. If anyone with a normal nose came in here, the first thing they'd do would be to open a window and ventilate this room. The knocking against the study door had been going on for a while. Voice calling father sometimes mingled with the knocks. As Kinzo heaved a deep sigh, he snapped shut the old book in his hands and slammed it on the table. Then, he yelled at Kraus, who was still knocking on the door. Silence! Screen shake. Enough with that racket, you fool. Who told you the door would be opened if you but knocked? I'll crucify the imbecile. Do you wish to suffer the same fate? Father, this is the day of the family conference, which happens only once a year, is it not? Everyone's gathered down below. Please come out. Kraus called out to his father through the door. Kinzo always shut himself up in the study, hating it when nearly anyone, even his family, entered the room. For that reason, Kraus had no choice but to call to him from the corridor like this. Molest me not. Just who is this everyone of which you speak? Do you mean the fools trying to drag me out of here? Then kill them all. Tear them apart, use their bodies for firewood, and feed them into the witch's hearth. Kinzo seems like a very level-headed dude. Put a pot in that hearth to boil the wormwood. Force the imbeciles who dare try to lure me out of here to drink the broth of the apocalypse. I will soak their dregs in liquor. Where is Genji? Call for Genji. Have my demonic absinthe prepared. The whispering of the green fairy reaches me no longer. Where's Genji? Bring him here! On the other side of the door, Kraus, Nanjo, and Genji kept waiting for the master of the house, who stubbornly refused to come out. Oh, look at this fella. Our first look at this fella. The aged head of the Ishinomiya family. Even though it has already been announced that he has just a few months to live, he is brimming with energy. Though he amassed a vast fortune in the past, he never made any announcements regarding the inheritance which worries his children. What a fun situation that seems to be. He is strongly influenced by the West and is a rabid fan of the occult. His study is packed with mysterious grimoires. Okay. Huh. Looks like he hates me to the core. My voice doesn't reach him anymore. I must rhyme. Kraus shrugged as though saying it's no use and smiled bitterly. From the beginning, he hadn't really expected his father to respond to his calls. However, since it was the duty of the eldest son, he had tried as a formality. Kinzo-san. Kinzo-san. Your sons, daughters, and grandchildren have come to see you, have they not? Could you just let them see your face, if only for a short while?
うるさい黙れ
Shut up! Be silent!
私に意見するというか南條
You dare to admonish me, Nanjo? Sorry. I was blowing my nose. Muted myself there. You dare to admonish me, Nanjo?
貴様など呼んではおらぬ私は源氏を呼べと言ったのだ
I never told anyone to get you. I told them to get Genji.
さあ急げすぐに呼べ
Now call for him immediately.
時間は常に有限だ人たちはすでにラッパを構えているぞなぜにそれがわからぬか愚かな羊どもめ
Time is short and the apostles are already readying their trumpets. So why can't you foolish sheep understand? Kenzo slammed an old heavy book against the table over and over. That racket clearly expressed his great displeasure. Kenzo put his spectacles down and flew up from his chair. He spread his arms wide open as if to sing to a packed opera house, as if appealing to someone, and yelled,
なぜだ
Why?
なぜにいつも私には邪魔が入るのか
Why is there always something in my way?
すべてを捨てよすべてを捧げよその見返りに私は一つしか求めないというのに
I would throw it all away. I would offer up everything. And there is only one thing I ask in repayment.
おーベアトリーチェお前の微笑みをもう一度見られるならば私は世界中から美少を奪い取りすべてをお前に捧げよう
He is nothing if not consistent. Oh, Beatrice! Beatrice, if I could see your smile but one more time, I would plunder the smiles of the earth and offer them all up to you.
おおイナゴの軍団長たちよ世界中から美少を刈り取り収穫せ
That's a good coughing noise. Oh, commanders of the legions of the locusts, reap the smiles of the earth.
すべてが汚らわしいすべてが煩わしい
Ah, everything is filthy, everything is irksome. Oh, dude, I totally forgot to mention at the top of the stream. So ever since part 2 got uploaded to YouTube, I was waiting for comments that would be like, hey, we don't appreciate you reading everything. But I didn't get any of those. So I can only assume that everyone is totally chill with me reading it all. Or the people that don't want me to read every word aren't confident enough to challenge me on it. Like, I saw no compelling arguments. The only thing I could possibly see, and I surmised myself, surmised, is that the only thing I'm potentially only lengthening the series by doing that, like letting it be read out in Japanese dialogue, and then also me reading over those words. But like, that's fine. I already know this is gonna be a long series. I was mentioning it earlier, like, if this is your first series or, you know, game that you're watching me play, I always, you know, whatever, like, how long to beat of a video game is, there's always like it's almost like the Austin tax. It's like the me tax, where like you just add a few more hours to every game, because it's always gonna be like, I'm very slow. I'm just a slow person when it comes to any games or anything. So again, if that's not your jam, here's your exit point. Take the exit on your left or on your right. Normally our exits. Take the exit on your right and swiftly don't watch the rest of this, because it's going to be more of this.
なぜこの貴重な一日に私は邪魔を受けねばならぬのか
Why must I suffer this impediment on the most precious of days? Cough. Cough.
Genjiを呼べ。
Call for Genji! Cough, cough, cough.
何を怒鳴ってるのかもさっぱりだな。
I feel like Kraus has no real, like... I feel like Kraus, if he's the number one, or I guess number two behind the grandfather, Kinzo, he doesn't care. He's like, fucking let him die, I don't... My situation will immediately be better by him dying, probably, right? I have no idea what he's yelling about.
もう頭がどうにかなっているのだろう。
He's probably lost his mind by now.
クラウスさん。
Kraus-san.
実のお父さんに、そりゃあんまりじゃないかね。
Isn't it a bit harsh to say such a thing of your own father?
親父はすでに死んでいる。
My father is already dead.
ここにいるのは、親父だったものの幻さ。
There's nothing here but a phantom of what father once was.
いずれにせよ、本人にここを出る意思がない以上、どうにもならんね。
Excuse me. What if that's more of like a literal that sentence? Oh no, I have hiccups. Just everything coming up me. There's nothing here but a phantom of what father once was. Obviously, that's kind of like What if that's literally the sense? What if? I mean, man, we're really early on in this, but if we're having talks of like witches and shit, and he has what seems to be like on the very outside surface of like a love for Beatrice, whoever she is. What if she's an actual witch with some kind of whatevers? What if she like... I mean, I don't want to reduce it just down to like, oh, what if she has a spell on him? But like, what if she has some kind of hold over him, some kind of supernatural hold over him of some sort, where he's lost his mind and is only now looking towards, only has eyes for Beatrice. That's his life's goal. At any rate, as long as he has no intention of coming out, there's nothing we can do.
Kinzo-san.
Kinzo-san. Choking coughs continue to pour from the study.
私は下に戻る。
I'm going back downstairs.
ゴーダの自慢のランチをこれ以上無駄に冷ましてしまうことはない。
It'd be a waste to let the fruits of Goda's prized cooking talent get any colder.
親類たちにとって当家での数少ない楽しみだろうからな。
It's one of the few things our relatives can look forward to when they come to this house. Kraus spun around. He looked at his watch, mumbling and acting as though he had wasted time doing something he knew would be in vain.
Genji-san.
Genji-san.
親父殿がお呼びだ。
Father is calling for you.
相手を頼む。
Keep him company.
かしこまりました。
Certainly.
南條先生、
Dr. Nanjo,
食事に行きましょう。
let's go eat.
いつまでもここにいると、この甘い匂いで味覚までおかしくなってしまう。
If we stay here any longer, this sweet stench will ruin our sense of taste. Without waiting for Nanjo, Kraus went downstairs. Genji urged Nanjo to go and eat. Nanjo glanced between the study door and Kraus's back as the latter disappeared down the stairs and let out a deep sigh.
すまんが、源氏さん。
Sorry, Genji-san,
頼みます。
but please allow me to leave this in your hands.
はい。お任せください。
Yes, please leave it to me.
お酒はなるべく与えないように。
Do what you can to avoid giving him alcohol.
あれは常習性が強すぎる。
That's a habit that's far too difficult to break.
源氏はまだか。
Is Genji not here yet?
何者が源氏を阻んでいるというのか。
Who dares keep Genji from coming?
源氏はどこだ。源氏を呼べ。
Ah, where's Genji? Call for Genji.
さ
He needs healing. That was the lowest of fruit of jokes. Like, that was... I held that in so long. I remember when we started talking about Genji. Oh, it came out. The pissed poor joke came out. Please,
あここはお任せください
allow me to handle the situation here. Very well.
すみませんな
Forgive me. Nenjo bowed slightly and transcended, descended the stairs. Genji watched him leave, then knocked on the study door.
親方様
Master,
源氏でございます
it is Genji.
源氏か
Genji!
何故私をこれほどに待たすのか
Why have you kept me waiting so long?
そこには誰もおるまいな
You're alone, I trust.
はい
I trust? Question mark? Correct.
私だけでございます
I am alone. Kinjo returned to his seat in the study and pressed an old-fashioned switch on the table. After a small delay, the heavy sound of the door unlocking could be heard. Kinzo was convinced that his family wanted to make a mess of his study. Or perhaps someone had once opened the window for some air and ended up scattering things that, to him, were important research materials, leaving him in a terrible mood. Kinzo had outfitted his room with a formidable lock, preventing anyone from entering without his permission and thereby sealing himself in a jail of his own making. Genji, whom he trusted the most, was relatively free to enter the room, but even that didn't always hold. If Kinzo was in a bad mood, even Genji wouldn't be able to enter. Anyone else would be limited to holding conversation through the door, unable even to see Kinzo's face. And most of the time, what they got could hardly be called a conversation. However, this didn't trouble the rest of the family much. After all, it just wasn't worth the effort to disturb this aging family head, who was impossible to please and always stayed shut away, immersed in his research. Taking advantage of his refusal to leave his room, they supported his isolation, putting his care entirely into the hands of the servants.
源氏いつものやつを頼む
Genji, my usual.
私は忙しい
I'm busy.
はい
Yes, sir. A drink, is it? Genji headed to a corner of the study. There, suspicious-looking bottles boasting venomous colors were on display. They were actually liquor, but considering the shady atmosphere of this room, one might easily suspect them of being some ghastly poison. Inside the study, the mysterious collection of books gathered by Kinzo had grown into a mountain. They were bizarre, ancient, or banned books. An ancient man? All of them either forbidden, cursed, or sealed. But if you tried to call them old books, Kinzo would fly into a rage and say, "Call them grimoires!" There are also many mysterious objects that presumably held some meaning with regards to black magic, like candles suspiciously melted and molded into strange shapes. The constellations drawn on a certain celestial globe contained quite a few shapes that would draw puzzled looks from anyone familiar with today's night sky. The carelessly strewn about books contained many illustrations, all of them of a religious or mysterious nature, including some depicting demonically grotesque subjects or bizarre diagrams of various magic circles. And above all, a sweet poisonous smell filled the room, profoundly assaulting the eyes and noses of those who entered for the first time. Eventually, it must surely make a person go numb and lose their grip on reality. Inside that study, Genji prepared Kinzo's usual drink with a well-trained hand. No one would even think of drinking such an ominous dark green liquid in that complex and ornate glass, unless someone first told them it was alcohol. He poured a little into the glass. Then, he placed a cube of sugar in a strangely shaped spoon and poured water from a pitcher over it. Strangely, when the transparent water was poured, the dark green liquid turned a cloudy white. It was a strange optical illusion, as though the water had caused a chemical reaction and made the drink become even more unrecognizable as liquor. I was gonna try... My brain saw liquid, but unrecognizable as liquor. This is a strange little detail, I must say. Then, Genji added original flavors Kinzo loved, fine-tuning its taste. There was no recipe. Its success was measured only by Kinzo's mood swings when he drank it, and it had taken Genji many decades to learn how to do it right. Genji placed the glass on a tray and walked over to Kinzo. By the time, Kinzo was gazing out the window. Here, master. Thank you. Kinzo had regained his composure and was now unrecognizable as the shouting, screaming, yelling man from a few moments ago. Looking at this man from behind as he tilted his glass and gazed down at the scenery beyond the window, he projected a sense of dignity and intelligence. To allow Kinzo to set his glass down at any time, Genji motionlessly waited behind Kinzo and to his left as though he were a... I'm going to reread that sentence. Oh, my nose is bothering me. Okay, to allow Kinzo to set his glass down at any time, Genji motionlessly waited behind Kinzo and to his left as though he were a living sideboard. Got it. Then, without averting his eyes from the window, Kinzo held out his glass. There was only a mouthful remaining. It was not a gesture intended to set upon the tray, but a motion to hand the glass over to Genji. Drink. My friend. Your words are too kind for me. No need for ceremony between us. Drink. My friend. Thank you. Genji respectfully received the glass and inclined it a little to taste its contents. After that, he gulped it down. I attempted to imitate your concoction, but no matter how I try, I cannot replicate the taste. The way you make it is pure relish. Thank you very much. It is the fruit of your guidance, master. Kinzo smiled as the little subject, who refused to put aside rank, even when asked to. However, he was not making fun of him. His smile was relaxed, as though chuckling at a close friend's old, unshakable habit. We have grown old together. I stopped counting the years long ago. Whoops. It is entirely thanks to you, master, that I've been able to live like this until today. Kinzo gave a faint smile as if to say he didn't need any flattery. Until now, you have served me exceedingly well. My sons call me eccentric. The servants that were once many have all quit and fear me. Only you serve me, even now. Your words are more than I deserve. My life will not man, I'm struggling with words here. My life will not last much longer. My sons are vultures, lazily waiting for my inheritance to fall into their hands. Dots. Kraus is a fool, squanders money like water, who throws away 2 gold coins to obtain 1. And then he has the gall to claim that he's earned money.
エヴァは金の亡者だ。あやつは私を鶏か何かだと思っておる。
Ava is a slave to money who thinks of me as a mere chicken.
死んだらガラにして出汁まで取る気だ。
When I die, she plans to use my bones to make a broth.
ルドルフの間抜けは女遊びばかり。
That dunce Rudolph just wants to fool around with women.
ローザはどこの馬の骨ともわからん男の赤ん坊など産みおって。
Rosa bore the baby of a man who came from nowhere, and about whom we know nothing.
ジェシカは無能で無学だ。
Little side note here. So we don't know the father, but I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wager my whole life savings that the identity of the father of Maria, the one who had the child with Rosa, is gonna be a big plot point, because like any fucking mystery story game, whatever, the character that has like a hidden role or a hidden identity or whatever, like the thing that comes to my mind is like obviously Danganronpa series I'm a big fan of. In Danganronpa, there's like almost always like a character that doesn't know their ultimate ability, right? And they're like almost, you know, for one reason or another, they don't say it, or they intentionally hide it, or whatever the case is, or they don't remember it. And so like, and that becomes like a huge driving plot point that usually then surfaces towards like the second half of the game or whatever. I feel as if because he doesn't have a thing, and it's been alluded to a couple times now, whoever this man is, I can't help but feel it's going to be a big plot thing, you know? Just putting it, you know, this is what, stream number 3 of this game? I'm just putting a pin in that, you know? Just put a little pin. Just put a little pin. Jessica's incompetent and uneducated. Oh wow, he's not even going at just his own children. He's going over after his grandchildren as well. He's laying waste. George has none of what it takes to be a man. Paddler's a fool who threw away the honor of the Yushiromiya family. And Maria is obscene to the eye. Jesus, she's a child. She's a fucking child. Why is Yushiromiya blood so incompetent? Is there no one worthy to inherit the glory I built? Ah, of course. I know. This is part of Beatrice's curse. I know it. Ha, you golden witch. Are you trying to take revenge against me in this way? If you want to hate me, then do so. If you want to run away, then run. I won't let you go. I won't let you go, won't let you go, won't let you go. You belong to me. You must always be in my arms. For all my life. This voice actor just giving it his all. You must stay in my birdcage for all eternity, whispering only to me. Beatrice! Beatrice! Why? Won't you smile back at me? Beatrice. Oh my god. Just the worst sounds. Just destroy my own throat for doing that. I spent the whole past hour talking about how sick sounding I am and everything, and how I'm just like struggling, and then I try just inflict harm on my own voice. After howling, Kinzo choked once again. Genji set the train glass down and rubbed his master's back. How awkward. Genji's facial expression did not change. It was always like this. Ew. He's hacking up a hairball. Thank you, my friend. When his seemingly deranged fit subsided, Kinzo regained his composure once again. It was like seeing two different people, a wild Kinzo and a composed Kinzo, living together inside one body. And so, I have decided. I cannot bear to spend my dimmed remaining years procrastinating like this. If I have one final coin to bet, then I choose to abandon it to the whims of the demon's roulette. The power of magic is always determined by the risk of the gamble. Like visiting a shrine at the hour of the ox in ancient Japanese sorcery to nail a cursed doll to a tree. Magical power is produced specifically because of the risk that it will be seen within the 7 days the curse takes. The greater the risk, the stronger the magic power will be. Many miracles that happen in myth might be called the crystallization of shocking magic power, with a low probability of occurrence and astronomical risk. That Moses parted the waters of the sea was not a miracle of God. The risk of that desperate situation, cornered by soldiers on the Red Sea shores, weighed open the scales of slaughter and gave birth to that miraculous magical power. If the same thing occurred again on the same scale, the sea would surely fail to part. After all, Moses was able to magnificently summon a miracle engraved on but one of the countless innumerable results on the roulette of those with power. That is the force that can triumph over astronomical odds. Indeed, good fortune that can grasp miracles is magical power itself. To obtain this mighty power, one must face the risk of despair.
魔力持たぬ者はそれを賭けでなく自暴自棄と呼ぼう。
Those who possess no magical power may call that desperation rather than a bet.
しかし真に魔力ある者はその奇跡をつかみ取り神秘を成就させるのだ。
However, people who truly do possess magic power can grasp hold of that miracle and make the enigma come into being.
もしも私にその魔力があるならば、
And if that power exists within me,
私はその奇跡をつかみ取るだろう。生涯を費やした願いを実現できるだろう。
I'll seize that miracle. I'll have a chance at making the wish I devoted my life towards come true. Kinzo looked up to the sky outside the window. He spread his arms as if appealing to someone up in the skies.
もし
If only.
私にその奇跡を手にする資格があったなら。
If only, the woodpecker cried. If only I were capable of grasping that miracle.
おー
Oh,
ベアトリーチェ
Beatrice!
ベアトリーチェ
Beatrice!
お前の愛くるしい笑顔をもう一度だけ見せてくれ。
Show me your lovely smile once more.
どれほどの月日を経ようともお前の面影が消えることはない。
No matter how much time passes, your face does not vanish.
ただお前の美少が見たい。それだけだ。
I just want to see your smile, that is all.
お前から授かったものをすべて返そう。
I'll return everything you granted me.
あの日からの栄光をすべてお前に返そう。
I'll return all the glory I've gained since that day.
富も名誉も黄金もいらぬ。
I don't need fortune, prestige, or gold.
お前に授かったすべてを返そう。
I'll return everything you gave me.
私はただお前の美少が見たいだけなのだ。
I just want to see your smile.
ご賞だ、ベアトリーチェ。
I beg you, Beatrice! Just to save my own voice here. Ooh, oh, ooh, 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 oh, ooh. Probably sounded terrible. His nonsensical yells became a scream, and then a wail. Kinzo slumped to the floor, tearing at it with both hands. Genji had no choice but to wordlessly watch over his master's lamentations. Oh.
Yeah, Shokun.
Oh, it's a good natural stopping point. I had said at the top of the stream it had to be a short stream tonight. Because I sound terrible. I probably sound gross. All congested and shit. So we'll have to end here for the night. No streams on Thursday, as always. So nothing tomorrow. But I'll be back Friday night with probably Disco Elysium, honestly. Hopefully a good chunk of Disco Elysium. Next time we'll play this game will probably be sometime this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, depending on when I can get my act together. And hopefully for a good chunk of time. Also, hopefully I'm not sounding as gross as I'm currently sounding. So that's the hopes and dreams. Thanks, of course, for stopping by. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch past streams of this game or any other game I've played on stream, those are on YouTube. To go watch to your heart's content, catch up, watch, pick a random series. You probably won't be disappointed. And I think that's all I have to say. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Have a great Thursday and also Friday. seeing as I'll be back Friday night. Finish the week strong. As always, do good, be good. Stay safe and do well. And yeah, I'll be back Friday night in like 44 hours. So, until then.